Okay. Mary J. Blige. Mary, how are you? I haven't seen you in such a long time. How are you?
I'm good, Flex. How are you? It's good to see you.
I've been watching you from afar.
Uh-huh.
I watched you, of course, turn the, you and Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
I watched you turn that tour upside down. You guys seem like you were packing it out and exciting everybody. I've been watching you make good music. I saw the London album. That was like maybe
The London sessions, that was 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago, which I enjoyed. I mean, we already know the units that have been sold and the Grammys that have been won, and I love the title of your new album, Strength of a Woman. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. I saw you go up with the artwork.
Thank you so much.
I love it.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
And I've been paying attention to how amazing you've been looking on that gram.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So I thank Chris Green for allowing me to listen. I don't know if you know, I called him. I knew a few days ago. I said, I just want to listen to it over the phone. I was so anxious to hear what you and Kanye were going to come up with, because I've heard, sometimes records not be that great. Sometimes when people get together, especially different. And I asked him to back it up a couple times over the phone. I was like, this record is so hard.
Thank you.
Amazing. How did you and Kanye even get together?
Well, I mean, Kanye is someone I always wanted to work with. I'm a Kanye fan. Been a Kanye fan, will always be a Kanye fan, and I just think he's just genius and such an inspiration, and I just always wanted to work with him, and so I finally said, let me just reach out, because I can ask this person, I can ask that person, I can go to the middleman, and the middleman is always in the middle. Let me just try to get right to him. And
how'd you get to him?
I got a number on him, and I forgot where the heck I got that number from, but I got a real number on him. Oh, I reached out to his manager. I said, I need to speak to Kanye.
Okay.
And he sent me a text number, a number to text him.
Uh-huh.
So I texted him and I told him what I needed and blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I said, well, let's meet. We should just meet. And we met at his house and we talked. And, we here right now. We talked. We had a long discussion about what his house was going to look like and the architecture. And, he was just being Kanye. And he was showing me what his, just different art boards and things.
Is this in L.A.?
Yeah, this is in L.A. He was just showing me what his house was going to look like and what his pool was going to look like. And, it's just like, it was exciting. It was like, wow, I'm sitting here talking to Kanye, who I absolutely love and, respect. And then, before you knew it, he did it. I mean, he did it. So I was happy that I got a chance to really sit with him and vibe with him and talk to him and tell him what I wanted and tell him the Kanye I wanted and the Kanye I respect. And he gave me that on this record.
It definitely wasn't the Kanye that you normally get on his albums. I felt like it was almost like I'll be honest, maybe the Kanye I was missing a little bit. I love the new Kanye too. I love all Kanyes.
Yeah,
I want to say
right.
that correct.
Right,
I love all Kanyes,
right.
but I did enjoy the Kanye, like you said, that he gave you on that
Right.
song.
I love all the Kanyes, but I know the Kanye that I wanted on this record. We act like there's 30 Kanyes running around, but I know the Kanye that I wanted on this record, and like I said, I respect all of them. It's just that he gave me what I needed, because when I was writing this record, I was writing from a place where I was writing it to myself. Like it seemed like life had stopped for me, and I say things like thought they put my life on hold. I was really speaking to myself because my life was on hold due to my situation and how terrible it was, and I was just stuck in it.
Now, when you say hold, right? Because I want to, and hold, are you referring to musically? Are you referring to going through the divorce? Like, what made you feel like you were on hold?
Well, I actually started writing. I wrote this record a year ago.
Okay.
When I started writing the album. And my life was on hold. My career was on hold. Everything was on hold because I was living a life that was deceiving. I thought I was with someone that I knew, and I wasn't. So my life was on hold. So I was pausing, looking at everything like, yo, what the hell, what's going on?
When you say deceiving, and of course we're talking about Ken, which I want to, Ken, do I don't want to be too not mushy, but I mean, usually things like that fly by me because I don't really engage. And I think I'll be honest. I was shocked, and I was like, wow. And Mary, you and Kendu's relationship was looked upon by a lot of people. Watched, like, especially in the industry. Watch you guys like, be happy. So when I thought, it's gonna blow over. It's gonna be nothing. It's gonna move away, and then it didn't. And I was like, and I hadn't spoken to him. I've only spoken to you, and I was shocked. I was super, 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 super shocked. So when you say deceived, did you feel the marriage wasn't what you felt it was? Do you feel like it was never what it was, or just changed?
It changed, and then he became someone that I didn't know due to greed, lust, power. I gave him way too much. I gave him so much power. I gave him everything because I loved him and I wanted him to feel comfortable. I didn't want him to just feel like Mary J. Blige's husband. So here, take this, take that, take this, be the manager, be the do. Because I want you to be comfortable, and I want us to be comfortable when we go out together. I want you to feel like the king that I think you are. But he wasn't. Turns out he wasn't.
At the time when it was happening, did he do the management thing correct? Did he, in the beginning, was those things falling in place properly in the beginning, and then change? Like did you feel like when did you feel the hiccups started? What was your red flag? Mary J. Blige's red flag.
As Mary J. Blige, if my name is rolling off your tongue every other day, you're gonna get whatever you asking for.
Correct.
So the hiccups came when he began to think that he was more powerful than the whole relationship.
Which happens. People do go overboard. It happens, right?
But that's got nothing to do with me. When I give it to you, when I'm a person that loves hard and sincere, and when I give you, when I say baby go, that means we're supposed to go together.
Correct.
That means you're not supposed to find someone else to dethrone me, and now everything I do is not enough, and I'm not pretty enough, and I'm not skinny enough, and I'm not smart enough, and my records ain't hot enough, and everything that comes out of your mouth is an attack on my character, which I'm trying to uplift your character.
Correct. It's a team. Let's do it together.
So that's why I'll go back to the record when I said thought they put my life on hold. My life was on hold because I just couldn't believe that somebody would just try to stop everything, just try to take Mary J. Blige down.
This is before the divorce. This is just before you and him just hanging out, and then you feel like there's a situation, and then you felt like there was, at some point he wasn't positive for you.
Exactly. He became negative. He became negative towards me, towards my business, towards everything. So he wasn't what I needed him to be, and he wasn't what he said he was. Period.
Now, Mary, I'm divorced, maybe 5 years now, and you notice sometimes there's that point when something, and when it's not going, when there's something wrong, it just starts to almost unclick. To me, part of the tension in that rough period is because you know each other so well, you go, you know what? I can't stand that you're doing that, or you're doing that, or you're doing that on purpose, or you're doing that on purpose. Because I could say that's the way I felt, and I'm sure that's the way my ex-wife felt. There's that point where it just, when you can't hear each other anymore.
Well, I think that what happens there, and this is what I was discussing with one of my girlfriends the other day, you just can't get, I don't care how long you've been with a person, just don't get so familiar. And take them for granted.
You're
Remember
right.
all the things that you was with her for in the first place. She still gotta, speak to you. It's not gonna be like it used to be, but still look at you and like you're interesting to her, like you wasn't in the beginning.
Correct.
So just get so familiar. When you get too familiar, everything dies. And I don't care how long you've been with a person. Always make them feel special. That, and when people start to be like, oh, she's just doing that, that's just Mary, that's just, then it's gonna turn into it's just that, it's just that, it's just that, and it's gonna suck. And then the other person, then the person that's doing this the most, is the person that's gonna go out and look for something more interesting.
I agree with you. Yes, absolutely. I think I was you know, and maybe I know him through you, and I know of him, you know, just of him, but knew through you. I was surprised at the I was a little surprised at the financial demands on his part, and if I don't know if that was true or it wasn't. And I know that sometimes the magazines run with it, and they're very, you know, up nosy. Were you surprised?
Yes.
I was.
Yes, I don't even want to go into numbers and everything, but yes, it's ridiculous. And I mean, this is the thing that has me saying, wow, who are you? Who are you that you would come at me like this? You know me. You know us. You know, at least I thought you did. I thought you loved me. I thought you respect me enough, but you just now you just a guy that was just using me for opportunity, for a bank, and just a chick to say, wow, I got Mary J. Blige, while you taking care of a whole nother situation. So I'm just an anchor so you could take care of that.
But Mary, when I did see him, right, when I saw you two together, he had that look, like, you know, in his eyes when I used to see the two of you together.
How long ago was that?
A while. It was a long time. I would say 8, 10 strong, maybe 10 years ago. Am I saying it right? Maybe 8 years ago, maybe in there, like that when he. But I do. That's just me in terms of I was watching the way he looked at you then, and then it did seem like that. Maybe that's why it was so surprising when all the other stuff is going on.
I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't love me. All I'm saying is that he stopped. Something came in that made him be like,
okay.
Shit, Mary J. Blige.
You saying he got occupied and another young lady took him off his track.
Straight off his tracks.
She said straight off.
I mean, derailed him.
And I want to tell you something, you know, Kendu, if you have a chance to see this, I'm going to tell you what you should be nervous about the most is not Mary sitting there, but sitting there with her sister. I would be so frightened. I'd be so frightened. Like, they're going to pound me out when they see me. Have you and him had a chance to speak, talk, or anything? Are you open for it?
I mean, I had a brief conversation with him.
How'd it work?
It doesn't work because I don't really care. I don't want to hear it. I mean, I've been humiliated. I protected. I've covered. I smiled when I felt like crying. I laughed when I felt like dying. I walked down the street when I felt like stabbing somebody, arm in arm. You know what I'm saying? So the humiliation for me was too much. Like he killed everything that we ever had by just trying to say that. I mean, just giving somebody else everything that I gave him. I gave him everything, and then he gives it to someone else.
It did feel like
so
that.
I don't really want to hear no more. I don't want to hear no apologies. I really don't care. I mean, I don't hate you, but I just really don't have nothing for you. You know, I'll say it again. I don't hate him. I just don't have anything because he took it all from me. You know, you sitting there, you thinking this person cares, you trying to make it work, and then after a while, you know he don't care, and you still trying to make it work because you love him, and he's playing you out. He's playing you out for the prettier girl with the prettier hair and the prettier eyes and the big fat fake butt and, you know, just
Mary's breaking it down. I never heard Mary break it down.
So I don't matter to you. So now why do I matter to you? So I don't really care.
This is Nikki, you gonna see what it is.
I just want to settle. I just want to get through this divorce and stop playing.
How did all of this for your music, and well, now that you said like not just affect your music, but then with him being manager, this is not just a relationship cut off. This is like you have to sever business and you have to sever the marriage. That has to be difficult on how you how that all works. Like he's not involved in your new project at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's out of.
He's out. Everything else, you know, I don't want to get into the details. Yes, he got it.
And how did that affect your writing and your music making? And how and how was it hard for you to grab all of those things on your own to then take control of it?
Well, when I started recording this album about a year ago, right? Um, I was writing this album from a perspective of a woman fighting for her marriage. I was fighting for my marriage. I loved my husband. I was willing to go through hell. I went through hell. I went through some of the darkest, most disgusting, lost my morals, lost my mind, lost who I was, everything for this man. And when all of this happened, it all shifted. You know, it all shifted. Now I'm singing from a perspective of a woman who has to survive this, but I'm scorned. You know, but I have to survive, and I can't be out here looking crazy. I can't be out here, you know, letting you think you have gotten the best of me. You have not gotten the best of me. You have just made the best come out of me. But I'm still hurt, you know. So
And it's hard hard to admit. It's hard to share that feeling because a lot of people roll over it. It's hard to share that feeling of still being hurt.
well, it's the only therapy I know. I mean, I wouldn't be myself. I wouldn't be Mary J. Blige, the artist, the singer, if I didn't write from the perspective that I'm living in, from the perspective from happy, from sad, from divorce, from not divorce. You know, this is the only way I can heal, and this is how I've been healing. I haven't seen any shrinks or psychiatrists or things like that because this thing has been heavy. So the only way I've been able to get through is by writing and singing. And
That's what you know best.
yeah, and it's not all dark. You know, love yourself is the place that I had to be in order to get through this. I had to love myself through this. I had to find myself again. I had to let him know you didn't stop anything. I'm still here. But the fact that you wanted to it just bothers. Is really that's the part that bothers me.
I think Mary, when you threw up the birthday pic, I think he is clear because I think it was the birthday picture. If you have a chance, everyone, if you go to Mary J. Blige's gram, it might have been her birthday or somewhere around there. And I wanted to say, did you see this pic, Karen? Because wow. What's amazing pic.
Oh, the mood.
Wow, you think that? Oh, I was like, wow, killing them out here, killing them. Yo, Mary just gave it the look, and then this.
Look, other than this foolishness, I'm all right. That's
a blessing.
I'm out here happy. I got my family. I got
That's
myself
good.
back. I'm having a good time.
Enjoying.
This is just foolishness that I just wish would just be over. Like,
Well, it'll be over
yesterday.
soon. Like you're getting it
I
out
need it to be over now because
today.
it just be messing up my fun. It'd be some days I'd be having fun, like I gotta deal all with this.
Being in I call it, well, separation into the divorce is sometime a little it's a weird place because it's like it's a little drawn out. I'll be honest, you can't until the divorce, you can't say what you want to say to a motherfucker while it's still in that place. You gotta kind of like you gotta scale back. But
Exactly, because I want to just get real petty and stupid and just but
you know what? I'm talking from a person who reached the end of the divorce. You know what? I want to be honest. I am glad that me and her didn't go too far over the cliff because part of the emotions that happen in between the separation and the final divorce is different from the ones after the divorce. You kind of settle into it a little bit and then you go, you know what? And the stuff that made you mad during it doesn't make you as mad anymore. And because I know the place you're at. and it's like a handcuff, handicap, anger, and you're the one, and you're in the public eye.
yeah.
So it's your headlines, and that's a very annoying non-thing that you can control. So I kind of have an idea of where you're at, but it will super settle, smooth out once it's over. And this is how you're moving. This is how I'm moving, and it's better. Have you? I mean, and have you been dating since then, or is
No.
you just been keep it quiet, keep it moving?
I don't want any more headaches right now. Like I'm good. I'm good.
Got enough.
I'm good. I'm good for a while.
So Mary kind of skipped, because normally I've done this type of an interview with about 5 people, and Mary kind of changed it, because Mary went to one of my questions that I was probably going to get to near the end. So now I'm going to take you a little bit to the beginning of how I normally do it. So all the times that you've come up and hung out with me, Mary, sometimes we've never talked about the beginning.
Oh,
Now I know my beginning. When I say my beginning, I know Real Love, and I know the first album, and of course I know Bad Boy, but I know, and correct me if anywhere I'm wrong. Yeah, did Jeff Red discover you?
Yes.
He discovered you.
Yes, Jeff Red, along with my stepfather at the time, who worked at General Motors with Jeff Red,
Which I never knew.
gave him the tape. Gave Jeff Red the tape.
Your dad worked at the General Motors. Which
Yeah.
which at the plant?
Elmsford.
The one that closed?
Yeah.
I would have done anything to walk through that plant before it closed. Yo, there was so many cars in there. I heard there was stuff that was underwater. God. Ooh, she just made me. Okay, so he worked at the plant, and Jeff Red worked there too.
Yes.
And he gave the tape to Jeff Red. Was Jeff Red working at a label as well at the time, or he wasn't doing anything?
Jeff Red was already signed to Uptown Records.
Did he have you called and told me out yet, or no?
No, that wasn't out yet. I don't think that was out yet, because the Strictly Business soundtrack hadn't come out yet, because
Okay.
I was on the Strictly Business soundtrack, and that's how all
You
this,
Remind Me was
right,
on
it
there.
jumped off the soundtrack and became the single. And
So who Jeff Red gave? So then he gave your demo to Andre Harrell,
yes.
and what did they do? They just called you and said,
No, Andre came down to Slow Bomb. He came to the project.
"Came to Yonkers."
Yes, he did. He came to my house, came upstairs and everything.
Scared.
Him.
How was
He didn't look scared at
He
all. He looked like he was normal. Like he didn't look scared.
I lived on 309 North Broadway.
I know. I know.
And my mother passed away, but that's where she was. And then my sister's still in Yonkers. But back to Andre Harrell in Yonkers. What year is this?
89. Was it 89?
Okay.
It had to be 89, because 91, we went in the, I think it was 89.
So he comes and he says he wants to give you a deal.
No, he just heard me sing, and then
Live?
he heard me sing almost all in the
Living room, kitchen. I'm trying to get
in the living room.
Uh-huh.
And he heard I sang almost all in Anita Baker's Rapture album.
Okay.
Was the Rapture album? Yeah, it was the Rapture album. And after that, Charlie Davis, who was Jeff Red's manager,
Okay.
he started managing me.
Got you.
And then they, was doing the back and forth with Andre, and he was like, "Let's do it. Let's sign her. Let's bring her in."
Mm-hmm.
So went in, met Puff at some point, and everything was history.
And was Puff interning at the time, or was he A&R?
A&R.
He was A&R.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I saw a video. What was that? Was it background? Was it one of the Father MC records?
Well, it was. I sang background for Jeff Red too.
Okay.
On Apollo one time.
Okay.
So you got to go back.
That
and
was
look
your
at that.
that was your first. That
That was my first television gig. That was my first running home. Y'all got to go home and watch me. I'm on TV with Jeff Red tonight. And then the second one was Father MC. I'll Do For You.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. Those are big records out there.
I know.
And so then the focus became on you after the Strictly Business soundtrack. Is that when it focused on you and You Remind Me?
Yeah, because they were when I got signed, they was trying to figure out what to do with me, because everybody else was polished. Mariah was dresses, Whitney was dresses, beautiful. I'm fans of all of them, so it ain't no shade. It's just that this is what women looked like back then. But I was the only one running around in jabots and chains and Timbs and sneakers and
Popping.
I was the only one that was kind of like tomboy, so they didn't know what to do with me. But then You Remind Me jumped off of the Strictly Business soundtrack, and it blew up. And it was the first, I think, hip hop soul record, because you had Bismarck,
Correct,
the
yes.
beat, and then you had me singing over at Dave Hall, and so I believe Puff and them figured out what to do based on the single.
And if I remember it right, I had just starting the Red Zone, and I remember I was just starting to be in the clubs, and it was one of the few R&B records that was tearing like a rap record in the club when it dropped. And then I'm trying to remember. Then was it Real Love that was next?
Real Love was immediately following it. Yeah.
And that was
that was a monster.
a killer.
Real Love was like, what happened?
So this is 90. So I mean, Mary, describe your life now. It's Real Love. Are you still in Yonkers now at this time?
I'm still in Slow Bomb.
You're still in Slow Bomb.
I was in Slow Bomb when you remind me.
Okay.
I was out hanging out with my friends. Song coming on the radio, like, oh damn, like, just not feeling good about it because you still you in the projects and you couldn't get real happy unless you had a beef. You know what I'm saying? You had to fight. You had to, oh boy. But my friends, they were happy for me, and it was just awkward places it'll come on, and then some of them be like, yo, I just heard your record on the radio, and I'd be like, yeah, because I didn't want nobody to see me too happy.
Okay.
Because that's a problem in the hood.
Oh, okay. No, I get what you're saying.
Happy, it's like, oh, we gotta fight, So.
or they getting beside herself.
Right, and it got real bad. And then when Real Love came out, I was like, you know what? I got to get my family out of here. It's time for us to go.
Where'd you guys go?
Jersey.
Okay. That Real Love. When I tell you how hard it was tearing those clubs down, it was tearing them down so
good. And
hard.
it's so good. I'm so.
So all right. So your money's changing. You're doing shows. Now. Was Puff involved in that Real Love situation? Was he involved in all that music in the beginning?
Absolutely.
Okay,
100%.
so now your first album comes out. How much does it sell?
Shit, maybe a 2 million, $1 million.
Okay.
With Real Love on What's the 411, it had to have sold. I don't know. I don't know, 2 million, $1 million. I'm not sure.
Now I had heard that the "Who Shot You" song with Biggie was originally for your album. Is that correct? And there were other people on the song.
It is on my album.
It is.
With Keith Murray. It's on the My Life album, and it's an interlude that goes into the My Life song.
But there were other people, there were other verses you did not use.
Well, Keith Murray's on that one.
Okay, now.
And that's on my album.
Now, but was it on, did he give you a verse originally for your album and then they put it out solo, or did he go and do that afterwards?
I think Biggie did that afterwards.
Okay, he just took the beat.
Yes, he just took the beat.
Okay, so there was no like that. So that was never going to be on your project.
What? Who Shot
Biggie?
You?
Yes.
No, Biggie did the Real Love remix. That's what we did together.
That I remember, of course.
But I think they just took the Who Shot You beat and did it for Biggie's own project. So
now, when you're a couple of these albums in, right, and you're on Uptown, I remember a point where, I remember a point where I don't want to say you outgrew Uptown. I want to say, but there was definitely a point where you were kind of like, I didn't associate you with Uptown Records anymore. Like you were growing maybe beyond it. And I know that there was a couple albums that you didn't have Puff involved, but then I feel like there was a project you brought him back in on.
Share My World was the first project. I didn't have him, and I had him on What's the 411 and My Life, but Share My World was the first project that we separated on.
And how come? Was it just you felt like it was your time, or did you feel like there was because now Bad Boy, now you're on Uptown MCA, and he's at the Arista at the time, right? He has a separate project. Was that hard because he wasn't at the label anymore?
I think it was a lot of that. I think it was him doing what he was doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing, and.
Okay.
I think it was a label thing, and of course he had his own label at that time. So I couldn't come to Bad Boy.
Would you have? Did you want to?
100%.
You wanted to?
I wish. Oh! I wish if I wasn't signed to MCA.
So you wanted?
No shade or disrespect to MCA because they helped me to get where I am. But I would have definitely went on Bad Boy.
Mary has an automatic. Let me check myself before the window and say,
you have to,
yeah, no, MCA, because you're cutting that bread.
You have to. These people help me. Like, I wouldn't be here still if it wasn't for MCA, if it wasn't,
Was and I've always wanted to ask you this, at the time, was Faith a little bit of a takeoff of how you were moving at the time? I know you guys have developed into two separate things now, but at the time,
Flex, of course.
But I always wanted to know what you thought. I knew it from the outside.
If you knew it from the outside, you know, I knew it from the inside.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but I never asked you.
course.
I never asked you.
Of course, and it is what it is. I mean, here I am, Puff's, me and Puff working this close. He goes to get his own company. He gets his girl. Of course, he wants her to be a version of me. That's understandable. That's business. And then every chick after that was like, was
Had a piece of what you know.
Yeah, but that's fine. And I like the fact that
at the time did it annoy you a little bit?
Did it
at the time when it was happening?
I'm not going to say nothing.
Okay, all right. Concern. We use the word concern.
I was just confused, a teeny bit. I was like, because I know I have my own everything, and this is what I do. So why doesn't everybody else have their own everything?
Correct.
So I wasn't angry or, ticked. I just was like, what's going on? Excuse me. But then I caught on and I was like, oh, okay, there's another one. Oh, and here comes another one. Oh, and here comes another one. So it was like, oh, it's business. I see what Puff did. Okay, I get it. So, I could tell smart.
I could tell you when it was going too far.
When was it going too far?
It was going too far. One More Chance video, and the screen went from you, and then it would go to her, and then it would go to you, and then go to her. And this is just me talking outside, because me as a DJ and being on the radio, it was automatically putting her in the same exact frame and look and of success. That's what I felt by when I was looking at it. I automatically was like, oh, this is either the same or this is next. And that's what I thought. I mean, but you were very classy about it, and you were very. I never felt any energy. That's why I asked. I never felt you feel any way or say anything or anything. So I was just a little curious.
Love. It was all love. I had love and respect for Faith because she's super talented, and we was all friends at the time. So it was all love. And Puff is my family, so it was all love. So, this what we doing? Fine. Like, I'm the type of person, I know how to take a back seat until I see it's some real shit going, some real stuff going on. Then it's like, okay, now everybody's done. But until then, I'll just relax and be like, all right, it's all love.
Let me see what's up with this right here.
See what's going on.
Let me see what's up with these niggas right here. That's a real Bronx Yonkers shit. Let me see how these niggas is moving. Oh man. So you and him get back together, create a great project. How did you and him come back? Like and to work together and create something so great?
Well, I saw Puff somewhere. I don't know where I saw him. And he was like, I'm so proud of you. I haven't spoken to him in a while. He was like, I'm so proud of you. I love you, sis. We got to get in and do something. I was like, yes, we got to do something, right? And one day it just happened where we had a conversation, and he was like, yo, let's do it. Puff, he gets, and then
his excitement and energy is amazing.
Yeah, it's so inspirational. I was like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And I always wanted to do not what we did before, but just feel what it felt like when we were doing it before. Like when he brought Reminisce to me after I recorded it, and they mixed it and all that, and he brought it to my house, and we played it, and we was wilding.
Cranking.
Yeah.
It was cranking.
That feeling of making a real love video, and he just was an inspiration, and he still is. He's like a real team player when it comes to seeing his artists win, and he just always wanted me to win, and I just missed that feeling. I have not had that again in an A&R or even a manager after I left Puff. So I wanted to do it again.
You made great music. Look, you made great music as a whole. What was always surprising to me was, some people, some singers make hip hop feeling records. Some people make records that kind of have a hip hop element, or you have the hottest rapper of the moment. I never doubted that sometimes, the feeling that came off of those records, that you didn't really believe or feel that way. It always felt genuine when you had a song and you had an artist on it, or the feeling, or I know like the energy you give on stage, and you're like, your traditional dance that you do makes everyone know how much you're feeling it, and that is that a lot of artists don't have. They don't give. It doesn't come across.
We grew up in it, Flex. When we were kids, we went to School 12 parties. Remember School 12 parties?
I remember school board.
And we
Absolutely.
danced till we couldn't dance no more for UFO.
And I used to sneak. Just so you know, I snuck in because I still went to the school in the Bronx, but I used to go to those School 12
School
parties.
12, King School.
I used to see DMX at the sandwich shop that was that they've torn down. I used to see him out there sometimes. I used to see. One weird time I saw Irv Gotti out there too. But I used to always see people. I never used to run into the Locks. Did you run into the Locks? Did you know the Locks before Bad Boy?
No.
I
My cousin
didn't.
Jamarco was friends with them. That's how I even discovered them, because my cousin Jamarco was super close with them. And he used to play them all the time. I was like, yo, who was these kids? Well, I need Puff to hear them.
They had a different name.
Was it
Warlocks.
Warlocks.
Was it Warlocks? I think it was. Warlocks at the time. So, how did the Locks get to Puff?
Me.
You brought them to tape.
Yeah.
So you were just listening and you just said, hey, I'm going to bring this to Puff, and then Puff liked it.
Yeah, he loved it.
You changed their life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how you're supposed to do it, though. You hear something hot, put somebody on.
Man, wow. And then who brought, like, which one of the Locks brought it to you? Or
My cousin Jamarco.
he played it for you. You need to hear it.
First of all, he was playing it around the house like they was already out. Who was these things that my cousin keep playing? And it's the Locks. I was like, yo, they hot though. So, you know, I was like, I need Puff. Since I had access to Puff, I was feeling them like my cousin was feeling them. So I said, well, why don't I just bring them, you know, to Puff and let him hear them? And I knew David. Let's go back. I knew David because my girlfriend.
David.
Styles. And I call him David because I knew
Styles,
him when
I'm
he was
sorry. I didn't know that was your government.
I knew Styles when he was a little baby because my girlfriend Michelle, my childhood girlfriend, I went to school with and grew up with. That's her cousin.
Okay.
So I knew him when he was a little baby, but I didn't know he was a part of the Locks until, you know, I saw all of them. I was like, oh shoot, David. So
That's amazing. I mean, I where did, because we covered a lot there, but so where does Jodeci come into play in Uptown? Where do you come in having the relationship? When does that happen? Is that prior? Is that while you're still at Uptown? When is that going on?
Oh, that's all at Uptown.
All at Uptown.
Yeah, we were all a family at Uptown. Mary J. Blige, Jodeci. I think even Guy was at Uptown, right?
Yeah, correct.
So it was, yeah. So that's how I ended up in relationships with them. I mean, they was just the hot. Come on, this has not been a group like Jodeci.
No.
And just like me, every girl was going crazy. So that was a good time. That was a good time.
Have you and it's Casey, correct?
Yes.
Do you and him ever talk or say what's up, see him anywhere or anything?
I've seen him and said hello. Yeah.
Kept it moving. Mary had the kept it moving face on.
I mean, it's no beef with anybody. It just is what it is. Life happens. Things don't work. We're young. We're crazy. He's hot. He's the hottest thing in the world.
They were a different type of hot. That Casey and Joe, people don't talk about it or bring it up on
They
how.
was the hottest. They were like a rock and roll band. So
Yo,
they was hot like rock and roll bands.
Yeah, no, there was people would melt. Like, it wasn't just like girls would melt.
Right. So you go. You got this.
If
He
you
on
knew
fire.
them.
I'm on fire. We on fire. It's gonna be an explosion. And
Let's do it.
And in all peace and respect to them, because
Did you
nobody's done it like that.
like? Did you enjoy everything as it was happening? Were you having fun?
I don't know. Like, how I don't think.
Because you live. That's a life you live.
The early part of my life, I was not enjoying it. It was too much.
The success
It
you
was
weren't
so
on.
much going on, and I was trying to cope, and I was trying to do things to cope, drinking, drugs, just whatever I can do to stay numb and float through it all. But still working, still performing, still doing everything, but just kind of missing everything. There's a lot of things I don't even remember because I was just trying to cope with life, and then I didn't start really enjoying it until like recently. Really, really enjoying it. Like, I'm talking about enjoying it like I'm enjoying it now. I never got a chance to really enjoy it.
Did you feel like it happened too fast? Your career in the beginning, was it happening? Did it happen too fast?
I think it happened I think it definitely happened too fast. Yeah.
You
I mean,
paid your
'cause
dues.
I
You paid your dues.
I don't think any of us was ready. You know, I don't think my mom was ready. I don't think my family was ready. It just happened, and everybody was just like, well, all right, go ahead. You know, and I went like, okay, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna just sing my songs and just try to get through this because I didn't know, because I was nervous. I was all these things. I was a lot of things. I'm definitely nervous, but I was trying to get through the nerves of it all. But when I break into fear, just made me act like an animal. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I guess me acting like an animal kind of saved my life, because people wasn't able to just just walk all over me.
This was back then.
Yeah, this is back then.
This is back then.
Yeah, now I think about everything. I think about things before I say. I think about things before I do. I understand everybody's job, and I respect, the interviewer, and before I used to just while out on the interview when they asked me something stupid, but now I understand that that's your job to hold that camera there. TMZ, that's your job to ask me this stupid question, but it's my job to be able to handle you. That took a lot of growth, and that took a lot of trial and error, because I used to smack the camera.
We didn't come up in that era. We came up in the era of the music always spoke for itself. You didn't come up with it. There was no TMZ.
No TMZ, no social media, nobody with the cameras all like this in your face, and you trying to tie your shoe, and they're like, Mary, and you just jump up and
get out of here.
Yeah. So
I had, Mary, I there was a part in my career where I took like a 3-4 year hiatus from the club, and I remember returning to the club and being at the booth and people like this. And I think I called Mr. C. I said, C, I don't understand this thing in the club, the camera, it's taking me to a funny place. What is that? And I think Mr. C was like, you calm down, bro. That's just the way it is now. And I was very unused. I wasn't used to it at all. When I got used to it, I became a little bit of a ham. And then I started to enjoy it. I noticed your gram, Mary. When you first were on the gram, you'd post once in a while. You didn't post much.
Right.
And never really what you're doing.
Right.
And I think your Instagram is taking a 360.
I'm still limited though.
Why?
I'm still limited because it's not like I'm at dinner. Look at my food. Look at my earrings. Look at my hair. Like everything. It's not all day every day. It's okay. Okay, let's post this.
Mary, I got a question.
This is important. That's important. This is important. This is not. Me eating dinner right now is none of your business.
You're clear that there's a picture, and there's a pretty firm nipple shot picture.
Excuse me?
You're queer. You're where? I just wanna know that you know it's there. You saw it on the gram.
No. What are you talking about?
You want me to show it to you?
No. Just tell me about it first.
No. There's a very.
Dress now?
Yeah, there's one where.
Okay, let me tell you about that. Was a mistake.
No, I mean it's.
You talking about the dress? Okay, let me tell you about that.
Ken, I'm sorry, Ken. I'm sorry. Ken, look, I shouldn't have brought this up. Oh God.
That was a mistake because I didn't know that dress was that revealing until the cameras hit it.
Until you.
I didn't know my whole boob was down under from under. Like I didn't. And when I saw the pictures, I didn't post anything.
I mean, it didn't seem like it was down. It was. It wasn't down, man. I mean, did you see it? You saw it?
Is it a black like spider web dress?
It was
and it had like crystals and all this stuff.
I feel like it was I feel like it's a different one. It felt like around the birthday time. The birthday time there was a beach. Do you see the beach one?
You just bugging out like because
right now.
I don't know what you're talking about with the nipple thing.
You know what? All right.
I don't even want to see it.
Okay. I
don't want to see it.
Don't get it?
No.
Okay.
You're talking.
Can
about
I repost?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna repost. All right,
No.
I'm putting the camera down. Okay,
Thank you.
I thought no, that was all to say that you loosened up definitely on the gram, and there was a beach shot. I feel like it may be a bikini. It was I was definitely like, okay, I've never seen Mary in the whole beach outfit. It was definitely different.
Well, it was my birthday, and I felt like right now I just feel really free. I have not felt this free. Where I'm not gonna go nude, but I just feel like, you know what?
Now, Mary, I'm divorced. Was that the nigga take this? You're going to. This is going to be a bad fucking day for you. Because Mary, that's what happened. Whether that was your intention or not.
It wasn't my intention.
They were adding him in that gram.
Happy. This is my mood. I've been through a lot. Fuck everybody and everything. Bam. Like, damn.
You gave him bam. And I'm going to add nigga, bam. Okay, I just wanted to bring it up. Well, listen. First of all, once again, get back to the Kanye song. Amazing record.
Thank you.
I know you had 2 singles before this were good as well. I love your rollout.
Thank you, Flex.
I think that the title is so. I mean, you are an amazing inspiration for women with your realness. Like
Thank
you know,
you.
I'm sad a lot of people don't want to keep it 100. And you seem like you keep it 100 about yourself. And in keeping it 100 about yourself, that allows us to be 100 about the next motherfucker.
Yeah, boy. I don't have a choice, and I don't really embarrass easy. Some of the worst things are going to happen to us. And I don't think they happen to us for us to just sit on them. They happen to us for us to help someone else get through, and not by preaching, but how we live our lives, how we get through it. You know, so it's what people see is what's going to get them through. Or like, you know, you see me come through some of the worst stuff. Hey, this is just something else I'm surviving and getting through, and I can't just be moping around. You know, I gotta let people know, you know, there's a lighter side to life. Although there's darkness, the light is, you know, life is what you make it.
Were you afraid to venture out on your own? Because this is a real venture out on your own. Like, I remember you used to switch managers sometimes or change things up, but I felt like this was a real super venture out on your
Flex,
own.
I've been on my own for the last 8 years.
You're saying technically?
In the marriage, since you want to talk about it,
yeah,
I've been on my own, pretty much managing myself. He took his mind off my business, took his mind off my life. So I was really doing what I had to do, me and my team, on our own. So I'm going to start right there because I've been on my own. I'm just happy that I'm out, you know, and I'm not under, you know, the bullshit no more.
No longer.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to women who are in your situation? Best way to get through it?
Just don't give up on yourself, because the manipulation game that he's probably running is to make you feel like you're nothing and you weren't anything before he came into your life, but you were. So don't give up on yourself. Love yourself through it. Find something about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is about you is you. You know, just hold it all together and just rock with it until you can fix the ugly, or till you can fix it. But until then, this is what you have. And don't let anybody tell you that you're terrible because you're different, because you're not that affectionate, because you know, you won't read a whole bunch of books or whatever.
Whatever
you know what I'm
being
saying?
said to you.
Right. Just believe the best in you, and don't stop believing. Well, I don't say that. Just believe the best in you. Believe the best in you, and don't stop doing what you do, and meditating, praying, whatever you do to get yourself through it, do it. And don't be afraid to leave him. Like, enough. It's either you or him. The news could be the next day, such and such murders herself or murders him. Which one is going to be?
Fellas, I'm sorry that Mary just gave your girl a lot of advice and she's walking out the door presently with her bags.
Sorry.
It happened. Maybe you should have done it better.
Stop playing.
Thank you for coming, Mary.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate it
Flex.
so much. I had a good time with you.
Thank you.
And you let me into your life a little bit, and I appreciate it. I know that, you know,
I let you in a lot.
I did. I appreciate it.